And Jimmy Connors went down love 4 in the first set in his match against Mats Wilander and eventually won 5. But then Jimmy Connors turned on the Jets and engineered a fabulous comeback. We're now going to join the match with Connors serving down 5-6, looking to send the set into a tiebreaker. Using power and patience from the baseline, Mats Wilander getting out to a 4-love lead over Jimmy Connors, but as you can see, that is not the story any longer. Connors is back and now serving at 5-6.
And there he is, Johnny Connors from Belleville, Illinois, Jimmy's older brother. He's here this week helping him prepare for the tournament.
The tournament being the U.S. Open.
Well, he's helping him this week, too, I think. Connors would like to win this one if he could. He's got his sights on the other, but he wants to play well here. Connors has found the range now. You can tell by his walk, it's almost a swagger, and that's based on confidence. When his shoulders are rotating as he walks, you know he's confident. Looks like Barry McKay wheeling up to a Big Mac. Beautiful shot. And the key to that shot is how early he takes the ball. Watch it now. Connors just lays the forehand deep, but watch the backhand. He catches it very early, sharply hit, and Wilander cannot recover. 40-love, 1 point from a tiebreaker. Let called second. He gets 2 balls.
Mark Cox, the chair umpire. And to the tiebreaker we shall go. I don't think there was too much hope for a tiebreaker in the first set in this booth.
Not at 5-1, there wasn't.
Just outside the walls of this stadium, they're playing golf on the course that Jack built. At the Jack Nicklaus Sports Center, this is the ATP Stadium and the 1984 ATP Championship. Tiebreaker, Wilander Connors.
It's good. Connors was there, but it was an awfully good overhead. This is the 13-point tiebreaker. First player to win 7 points, so long as by a margin of 2, will win the set. And Connors to serve. Connors, of course, feels in a tiebreaker he's got the edge because of his return to serve. He's quoted yesterday in a press conference saying, 1 swipe and I've got the jump on the other guy in a tiebreaker. Well, I'm not sure, depending on who the other guy is serving. And now, Wilander with the mini break, 0-2.
Wilander needed 2 tiebreakers yesterday to eliminate John Sodrey from the quarters, and Jimmy Connors needed A tiebreaker in the third to eliminate Stefan Edberg in the quarters.
Remember, after the first point, they rotate serving twice each. So Connors now has a second serve, but he needs to hold here. He goes down 3-0 in the tiebreaker. It's long.
Just how the first set began. Connors getting in an early deficit. Now Love 3 on the tiebreaker scoreboard.
He's coming over to Barry McKay there. I wonder if he's going to either towel off or change rackets. Going to take the towel back, which means he's now going to work that towel at the far end, which will give him a lot of delaying time between rallies, Barry. He's going to go for that towel between points.
You know, when he got back into that first set, he really did slow down. That helped him a lot. And obviously, with that towel, it gives him one more prop to use up that 30 seconds.
That's exactly right. 3-0. Great serve by Matz. And now he's off and running 4-0, and it's a long way back up that mountain for Connors. Remember, 7 points by a margin of 2, and you have the set.
He'll take it. The luck of the tape putting Jimmy Connors onto the scoreboard finally in the tiebreaker.
Watch this replay. Jimmy leans in, hits the top of the net with that slice, and it drops over. Little lucky. Keeps him alive. 1-4. Connors now with 2 serves. Himself there, says you're on the ball today, buddy. Doesn't like missing that first serve at this point. Good. Another good shot on the overhead for 4-2 as they change ends on 6 points in the tiebreaker.
Parallel to the first set continues as far as the progression of scores. Wilander out at 4-love, and now Connors with 2 straight points to bring himself back to within 2 at 4-2. Barry, as they crisscrossed in front of you, how did they look?
I'd say Connors is a little bit more winded and looks a little more weary than Wilander, but I'll tell you something, Wilander looks the same and has to me for the last 4 years, so it's not saying a whole lot.
He hardly sweats.
Never play poker against that man.
He's unbelievable. He's kind of like Borg. You can't tell what's going on behind those eyes.
Well, Connors now at the far end, trailing 2-4, and in most cases, you'd think he's out of it at 1-4, Love 4, but he's such a battler, he's always alive. Let's see this point, awfully important. It's good. No, they called it out. That's unusual, Barry. That was the chair umpire overruling. I don't understand that, how you can do that on a 2-4 point in a tiebreaker.
The linesman called the ball good.
You just can't do that on a big point like that.
I can see the ball with so much space, it's unbelievable.
Connors is going to go berserk.
I know the mark, and I saw it quite clearly out, Mr. Connors. Please play.
No. Don't Mr. Connors, and please play. We're not playing on the clay court, Mark. This is a hard surface.
There was a mistake made by the line judge, and I've overruled and called the ball out.
Let the clock of full stop.
Quiet, please.
Let the clock of full stop. Okay, you all can go home. You all can go home.
Barry McKay, you can hear him right down there. He's furious with Mark Cox for overruling.
It's a very quick call. The linesman called it good. Cox called it out immediately, took charge.
Well, Mark Cox comes from the former playground of Robin Hood, Nottingham in England, and he is, in this case, taken from the rich and given to the rich.
What a difference, 5-2 versus 4-3. Connors coming in here quickly. As soon as he gets that short ball, goes with the forehand volley, lays it in there right on the line. Look at the other angle. Here he comes. Look how quickly he gets inside it, makes the shot, and now he goes after the chair umpire saying, don't call that one out. And we're at 5-3 for Wilander, but just think of the difference, 4-all. It could have been.
Some gutsy calls by the officials. Yesterday we saw a foot fault in the tiebreaker, and now the overrule from Mark Cox. He did seem sure of himself, though.
I don't care whether he's sure or not. I don't understand the purpose of it. It's supposed to be a clear error, and you're in the tiebreaker, and the linesman calls good. What a time to overrule. Either way, it seems silly.
Donald, you and I have sat in the booth and watched many a Jimmy Connors match, and we have seen officials do that many times, and we've seen it inspire him, and we've seen it take him out of the match. So it remains to be seen now what will happen here.
Well, they just don't even out. I mean, if you're at 4-2 in the tiebreaker, when you change the call, I mean, it just does not come back to you. And that's the problem. 5-2 or 4-3 is a world of difference.
Set point to this man, 20-year-old Mats Wilander.
3-6. He's got 3 set points in a row. Connors hanging in there, 6-4. Another set point to the Swede. Connors will serve. Hate to keep saying the obvious, but this would be easily 5-all otherwise. Had they not changed that call, and it would have been a big difference. 4-6 in the tiebreaker. Great serve. And now it is still set point to Wilander, who has the serve coming around at 6-5.
And another mini timeout taken here by Jimmy Connors over to the towel.
Connors will get it. Remember, this is set point. And Wilander was equal to the approach. That was a good deep shot by Connors. Wilander still nails it and has won the first set 7-5 in the tiebreaker.
The comeback falling short, and in just a moment we'll move into the second set with this man up by 1. Our coverage of the ATP will continue in just a moment, but first these messages from your local cable systems.
It's the rage of Sunday television. All-American Wrestling at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on USA every Sunday.
I'm a stockbroker, and I have a recommendation for you. Buy Barron's. Barron's, the National Business and Financial Weekly from Dow Jones. If you make your own investment decisions, I can tell you this. Every week, Barron's will deliver into your hands more solid investment facts, statistics, insights, and perspectives than any other publication you can buy, bar none. In every investment area, from stocks to commodities to real estate. Week after week, Barron's will help you pick the places where your money will do you the most good. It's all here, every week. Every kind of investment opportunity in Barron's. Barron's, I recommend it.
You can get the next 26 issues of Barron's for $36. Just call 800-631-1000. Call today and you'll also get as a bonus the helpful booklet, The ABCs of Market Forecasting. That's 26 issues of Barron's plus the bonus booklet for just $36. Call 800-631-1000 now.
You're looking live at the ATP Tennis Stadium where the sellout crowd is watching doubles semifinal action. We'll have the doubles final for you tomorrow. But now we're going to go back to the Jimmy Connors Mats Wilander match. The United States against Sweden, if you want to call it that. Wilander unable to capitalize on the exciting tiebreaker victory, and he's down 1-4 in the second set. Let's go back to this afternoon. Mats Wilander serving an ace to Jimmy Connors, or was it?
It was an ace, that's for sure.
Yes, it was. Ace to Jimmy Connors. For Wilander, his fourth of the match. His serve has been one of the bright spots for him. Though there have been few bright spots in the second set. He's down love 5.
And Wilander now mixing up his attack, coming in. He realizes at this stage he's got nothing to lose this set. 30 love. Attacking there, caught the ball early. He can do that on the two-handed side very well. .40-30 to Mats Wilander, trying to win a game here in the second set. He's won the first set, however. He does. And now Connors will be faced with a 5-1 lead to serve out the set.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of players down 4 love, Donald, would probably just start thinking about the third set, like in a position like Matt's. But I don't think this kid knows how to relax and not play a real tough game, regardless of what the score is.
It's sure hard to read him when you're watching him. He is emotionless. This crowd, about 7,200 here in the newly built ATP Stadium here. Cincinnati, built by Paul Flory, Nelson Schwab of F Broadcasting, and our sponsor, the Cincinnati Enquirer. They have really made this event big.
point now for Jimmy Connors.
40-30, 5-1. Out called, he shovels it long. And we're deuce.
Second set point for Jimmy Connors.
Could be one set all here.
So it is.
Connors has it.
After falling 5-1 in the first set, Jimmy Connors has completely reversed himself and now dominates 6-1. They'll play 3 at the ATP.
Refreshingly Hyatt. Punctually Hyatt. Deliciously Hyatt. Conveniently Hyatt. Strikingly Hyatt. Uniquely Hyatt.
The little things we do make each day special for you. And we wish you were here. For a touch of
Unmistakably.
Hyatt.
Next Saturday, we have some nightmares for you on USA. A horror classic, not about wiretapping, called The Bug. And then the Alfred Hitchcock Hour will have The Jar. Saturday Nightmares. That's next Saturday on USA. And here's what we're watching now. Much happier atmosphere, I would think. The ATP Championship. I'm Al Troutwig, along with Donald Dell and Barry McKay. And we're sliding into the third set between Mats Wilander and Jimmy Connors for the right to move into the finals. Wilander attempting to defend his title. Jimmy Connors attempting to move to the final for the first time at the ATP.
Now Wielander's serving there, Al, with new balls. And that's ace number 5. Just held up the new balls, the last point. 15 love. Well, that would have been another ace, but it was a let cord. Connors has a break point right here, Al. He'd love to get ahead in this third set if he could get an early break. It's an important start. Let's watch how he plays the point. Just wide, about an inch. Out called, and Connors attacking that second serve confused Wilander momentarily.
And Matz looks fairly stunned as he walks off the court. Jimmy Connors remains in front in the third and deciding set.
Right now, your body's thirsty for more than water.
You're working your body till you can't do more. Gatorade is thirsty. So give your body what it's thirsty for. Gatorade is thirsty for that deep down body thirst.
When you exercise, you lose potassium, fluids, minerals. Gatorade helps put them back fast. It's no ordinary thirst quencher.
Gatorade is thirsty for that deep down body thirst.
Sure, I stole a deal on a truck.
Me too.
And while you're here, they're stealing deals there.
Wherever you see this sign, you'll find Toyota dealers talking real deals. With over 28,000 trucks they've got to sell, you can steal them blind. Special incentives from Toyota 2 dealers on a great selection of trucks can save you big bucks. 1984 trucks at 1982 prices. Toyota's Big Steal a Deal Day. Chase one down today.
Seated at courtside here at the ATP Stadium is the Olympic champion in tennis, Stefan Edberg, and the man who really gave Jimmy Connors a run for his money. Third set tiebreaker yesterday in the quarterfinals here. Only 17, but someone that John McEnroe will have to face at the U.S. Open if he gets by Colin Dowdeswell in the opening round. That begins on Tuesday here on USA, 7:30 Eastern Time.
Al, you know, a lot of USA viewers saw Edberg demolish Wilander in the finals at Milan earlier this year, so that youngster can really play.
That was a bright statement.
Somebody yelled out at Connors on that last point from the crowd, and he yelled, that was a bright statement. I didn't hear what was yelled at him.
Wasn't talking to you, was he, Barry?
No, I missed that too, but Jimmy didn't appreciate it, that's for sure.
He didn't. Here comes Connors. A little late that time. You could see the difference on the racket head coming through late.
Jimmy serving at love 30 and 1-love. Third set.
Barry McKay, is Connors at all tired or winded?
I think he's a little tired. When he held off at that last game change, took a bit of extra time. He was breathing hard when he came after that service break, so he could be trying to catch some wind right now at love 30.
You're going to see Connors in at the net very close. Wilander doesn't try the lob. He could have made one right there. Jimmy's tongue is over that net, and he punches the second volley. 15-30. A bee or a bug back there is bothering him.
It's also giving him a little bit more time. He really does like to use that full 30 seconds.
He really paces himself, Barry, doesn't he? Because he's trying to get plenty of time between rallies. McKay knows you old guys need to pace yourselves between points.
You got it.
Connors at 31 is considered a veteran of many years on this tour.
my imagination, or is Jimmy very intent on ending these points much earlier than the others?
I don't think it's that, Hal, as much as he is really wanting to attack. He obviously he doesn't want to tire out, but he's had good success changing his pattern and play the second set, coming in a lot. Way to beat Wilander is really to force the play. Noah, for example, takes every one of his serves, first and second, on clay and comes in. We're at 30 all. That ball skipped high and over Connors' shoulder.
What is the story with Noah, Donald? Is he going to completely fade from the picture, or can we see more?
He's dying to play. He's got a very bad stomach muscle pull down low in the stomach, and it's just taken weeks to heal. He hurt it in May and then re-injured at Queens the week before Wimbledon, and he hadn't been able to play. He just dropped out of the Open last week. He's very discouraged right now. He wants to play. On the line. I thought Connors was going to volley that for a moment. Awfully big game for both players, really. Connors could go up 2-love, and at this stage of the match, that's a nice lead. Deuce.
Doesn't miss that very often. Advantage to Mats Wilander.
You know, there's a split second when you see a ball coming like that. You know it's an easy shot. You just sort of lapse in your concentration. That's what happened to Jimmy right there. He knew he had that ball put away before he actually did.
Back to deuce.
Look at that good, well-placed serve. Connors snuck in behind it. You get the depth feeling there because he comes in so quickly. Look where he hits that first volley. About 5 steps. Hard to believe inside that service line. Way in. Advantage to Connors for 2-love. He'd love to get it right here. Ball took a weird bounce or something. He mishit that completely. It's like a bad skid in there, Al.
As a result, Jimmy Connors holds serve and now leads 2-love in the deciding set. Wilander's been completely out of it since he captured the tiebreaker to win the first.
Good attacking return there by Jimmy. Slashing forehand. Really makes a difference when he keeps attacking. He keeps that ball deep and coming in.
Tell you one thing very noticeable from down here is the second serve of Wilander is now starting to drop really short. Connor's taking advantage of it. Watch that second serve, Donald. It's really starting to get short from Wilander.
You know, Donald, last year we marveled at the way Max was able to survive in the 100-degree plus heat that we had here in Cincinnati, but with the weeks off that he was unable to play with that bad wrist, maybe his stamina suffered a little bit.
And Connors again dominating by coming into the net as broken for 3-love in the final set.
Well, the early story was Wilander, but now Jimmy Connors using some power and finesse, and Wilander may be fading to black.
Years since I won here. First U.S. Open. Old club hasn't changed much, but tennis sure has. Since I won with my standard-sized racket, heads invented mid-size with the edge. It's just a little bigger, so you still have control. But what a difference in power. In my opinion, you can't find a better mid-size racket. I wonder, if I'd played with an edge, just how many more U.S. Opens I could have won.
Did you know that science has developed a new telephone cable fiber as thin as a human hair? It's made out of glass, and it transmits your voice with light impulses. The big benefit being that the new telephone cables are only 1/16 the size of the old ones. So in the same amount of space, we can now handle thousands more calls.
G.
No, GTE.
When we last watched Jimmy Connors, he may have looked a little shaky, but he is certainly not that at this point in the match. He is firmly in control in the third set. 3-love he leads. We're watching the single semifinal wrap-up in our coverage today. Jimmy Connors and Mats Wilander. The winner moves on to the final tomorrow here at the ATP Championship for 1984, the 6th edition.
Al, it certainly isn't as hot or as humid as last year when we were up in this booth. Totally different climate. Connors very confident. I think you made a good point. You don't know about Wilander's match toughness, whether he's tired or whether his concentration has worn down, but Jimmy is really starting to dominate, and that's unusual because of the way the Swede plays. He's so patient, gets a lot of depth, and never seems to tire. That is not happening right now.
Jimmy Connors serving at 15-30 right now, trying to improve his record with the new graphite racket to 8-1.
Of course, that one loss there is to his old nemesis, John McEnroe, in Toronto a week ago. That's the guy who wants to beat at the Open, and he plays in the semifinals. Connors cannot afford to relax here. 15-40. Wilander is very deceptive. 3-0 for Connors. A strange match this has been on game sequence, Al. Connors down 4-love, 5-1 the first set. Gets to the tiebreaker. It's a bad call at 4-2 in the tiebreaker on an overrule. Suddenly loses that and comes back and wins the second set 6-1, leads 3-love in the third set. So he has found a way to pressure and push Wilander. Good serve. It's good. And Jimmy Connors goes to deuce. Now watch, he bounces the ball here, pounds it. Wilander is right there, however. He didn't control the racket head very well, and the ball really starts to float about 8 feet long. Connors again plays behind Wilander. He's had good success with that shot all day long. The wrong footing, where you go behind your opponent as he comes back to the center of the court.
Boy, what a shot. Jimmy Connors holding and now leading 4-love in the third.
Very interesting shot here. Connors coming in with a pretty good approach. Now he goes with the forehand volley. And after making this shot, Al, he turned and motions up here to the booth about that volley. He likes the oversized racket. Now watch the volley there. Very quick. He's very, very happy with that racket now because it helps his volley. See, he's going there with the big face on the racket, showing us that oversize is helping his volley, and I think it is.
There's that short second serve again. He is climbing all over that second serve of Wilander's.
Barry Matz doesn't seem to have any spunk or spirit left at all.
Well, it's showing up in that second serve, Al. I tell you, it can't get much shorter.
Just out. Barry, you know, that's one of the problems for Wilander. He doesn't really have much that he can do different. I mean, what would he do now to suddenly get back in this match?
Well, one thing would be to start charging net and cutting off some short returns there by Connors, but he, like you said, Donald, that's not his game at all, and I'm sure we're not going to see him do that.
He has a lot of... Well, here he comes. That's a good volley by Wilander. He had a lot of trouble, though, changing and varying his game because it's one way, which is on the baseline.
It's amazing. That's the first time I've seen him come in and serve and volley for 3 sets.
That young effort by Mats Wilander was at the French Open in 1982.
I don't think that figure is right. I think Aaron Crickstein, by winning Boston this year, broke that record.
Grand Slam title.
Oh, that
would be the French.
The Grand Slam would be the French. That's correct.
And then Mats was able to follow that up with a Australian Open victory in December of 1983. So he has 2 of what Jimmy Connors has 8 Grand Slam titles. Connors looking to return to the hard courts of the U.S. Open, where he has won the last 2 years. He's looking so good right now, winning 15 of the last 18 games, and now with break point.
Pretty good serve when he needed it right there. Splits the line. Number 6 on the aces for Wilander. And another good first serve. Well, that's one thing he could do, is hit first serves in all day long, and he didn't have to serve that short second ball.
Donald, you mentioned Aaron Crickstein. A lot of people focusing attention on him. He was a first-round loser along with John McEnroe. And so in the first matches, the first and 4 seeds left.
Now, Wilander got out of a hole there, and he's still alive at 4-1. He could have been down 5-love, Al, in the third set.
Well, the crowd chanting encouragement for Mats Wilander, and in just a moment, we'll see if he has anything left for the ATP singles semifinal. Our coverage of the ATP will continue in just a moment, but first these messages from your local cable systems.
Inger Stevens must learn to cope with a deadly error in judgment on the Alfred Hitchcock Hour at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow on USA.
Ask the independent investors you know the name of the largest discount stockbroker in America, and they'll tell you Charles Schwab and Company. Over 50 offices and more customers than any other discount broker. Ask the independent investors why Charles Schwab and Company is the largest, and they'll tell you up to 76% discount on commissions when you buy or sell securities. Place your orders from anywhere in the country 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Computer technology that speeds order entry and executions. Accounts protected up to $2.5 million. Low interest rates when you borrow on your marginable securities, and no salesperson will call ever. Charles Schwab, the largest for very good reason. Ask the independent investors, and they'll tell you. Go with America's #1 discount stockbroker, Charles Schwab.
For your free information kit and discount rate schedule, call this toll-free number now, 800-821-1000. That's 800-821-1000.
That's the story in the third set in this semifinal match between Jimmy Connors and Mats Wilander as the 1984 ATP Championship continues from Kings Island, Ohio, just outside of Cincinnati. Connors to serve, 4-1.
All. Out. And
Two
so,
break points.
Wilander hanging in there, is not conceding anything. $15.40. And he's got a good return right at Connors' feet. And Mats Wilander has broken back for 4-2 to Connors. And if Wilander were a bigger server, it'd be a problem here for Connors, I think. Look at that return right at his feet. Jimmy does not bend down. He just sticks his racket down. Doesn't bend his knees at all. And notice he's taking a lot of time here toweling off now. He doesn't want Wilander to hold here. 2-4, final set. Connors led 4-love.
serve of Wilander nowhere near the weapon it was early in the match. That's the year in 1983, better than anyone else's. 9 singles titles and $600,000 from the bonus pool. Something's wrong in 84. No titles.
Good first serve, swung him wide. Well, what's been wrong has been his right wrist, which has been injured since the French Open. He's had lots of problems all spring. Finally got back into real tip-top form, and at the French he hurt it again. But he's had trouble. McEnroe is very, very healthy this year. Best he's been in a couple seasons. It's 40-15 to Wilander. Can move to 4-3.
Well, just when you think it's safe to switch, you better stay tuned. Connors still leading in the third set 4-3, but it's Wilander that's charging at the ATP.
Incredibly, 90% of all major banks make their international payments through one computer network from Burroughs Corporation. Every day, billions of dollars are transferred in seconds around the world. And after more than 300 million transactions, the network has never once broken down. Reliable systems like this are just one example of Burroughs' commitment to be the best computer company in the world.
Night Flight explodes with Bruce Springsteen, Jermaine Jackson, and a flock of seagulls, plus REM and more on Night Flight at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on USA tonight.
Night Flight following tennis on USA tonight. Some music from the old, Chuck Berry, and some music from the new, Elvis Costello. The net result, an evening of complete entertainment coast to coast on USA. Jimmy Connors serving, trying to get himself back in order in the third set. The winner goes to the final here at the 84 ATP Championship. Right here, Connors leading 4-3. And getting a little luck.
Jimmy knows that he was really, there he goes. He knows he was lucky because not only did he make the shot, it hit the top of the net and dropped in for an unplayable point.
Tell you what else happened, Donald. That ball hit the racket a couple of times, which is legal now, but that thing sort of boomeranged off his racket.
Let's watch it. He charges in, lets it hit the top of his racket there. It did roll over both sides of that face, and it rolls over the net. And Jimmy making a little pantomime of himself. 50 love. That's a careless error by Wilander, although a pretty good serve. 30 love.
Connors now serving at 40 love. Looking back on Memphis, Madrid, and Boca in Florida. And looking ahead here at the ATP to what could be his 104th career title and a return to the U.S. Open where he won his 100th last September.
So Connors has held serve. And he now leads 5-3.
Never would have expected Jimmy to come out and serve a love game the way Matt seemed to be charging back.
It's been a funny match, Al, on the sequence, because Connors went up very quickly to 4-love. Wilander came roaring back 4-3. And what happens? Connors serves a love game. 3-5. Good serve. And Wilander has really changed his whole pattern of thinking right now. I haven't seen him serve and come in on a cement court ever before this match.
Now, what Jimmy Connors has done is guaranteed himself a chance to serve for the match, regardless of what happens in this game.
Let called. Well, he's getting some feel with that new racket. There's a nice little angle shot. Now watch Connors here, because he takes the racket back quickly, sets up, and look what he does instead. A little roll, top spin, cross court. 30-15. Connors went for that shot. Had a lot of time, but missed it.
Still working hard.
And what does Wilander do? He serves his 7th ace.
Jimmy Connors leading 5-4 in the 3rd set, and as promised, he will be serving for the match in 90 seconds.
Let's not mince words, Sonny. I stole a deal, and my friends are stealing deals right now, and you can too.
Order! 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 The deal you've been waiting to steal is here, where you see this sign, Toyota's Big Steal a Deal Days. Dealers are talking real deals like never before, because they've got more models to choose from, more than ever before, at prices you wouldn't believe. So grab your mask, come on down, and steal one. Not me, guys, not me.
Freshly painted walls don't tend to stay that way.
Wash up before... Oh.
But paint with Lucite wall paint, darn transmission, and Lucite's special formula helps keep dirt on the surface. When dirt doesn't penetrate, it's easy to wash off.
Red is pretty.
To help keep walls looking freshly painted despite the test of time, use Lucite, the paint that lasts and lasts. Now through September 15th, save up to $16 with the Lucite paint rebate.
The cheers of almost 8,000 fans echoing across the ATP Stadium in Kings Island, Ohio for Jimmy Connors. He's 4 points away from winning the semifinal match against Mats Wilander. And just about an hour ago, things didn't look very good for Connors at all. And he was down 5-1 in the 1st set. Lost it in the tiebreaker. Came back and won the 2nd, 6-1. And now at 5-4, he is 3 points away from eliminating Mats Wilander, the defending champion here at the ATP.
That ball hit right on the line, skidded badly. 15-love. Wilander way back on the returns, about 12 feet. And Jimmy overhit. Not enough roll. And that one could hurt him.
Three of those U.S. Open victories on different surfaces. And Jimmy Connors is the only man to do that. Grass, clay, Forest Hills, and cement at Flushing Meadow. But now, 15-30.
Connors is not thinking about that now. He's thinking about how to close out this match. His former championships don't win him a point here today, but maybe his first serve will. 15-30. That ball was short, and he mishit the cross court. Wilander had no depth on that ball, but he got away with it. 15-40.
The defending champion having notched 4 out of the last 5 games. And now with 2 break points in his favor.
The ball kid started to hand him a towel. That was a damp towel. Jimmy said, nope, I'll take the dry one. Mostly what it'll take is that 30 seconds.
I'd like to take this point right now, dry or wet, either way, because he's down 30-40. And this is a giant point for both. Connor sets up, takes a look. Taking a lot of time on that bounce. Went for the ace and misses. I don't believe that return. And there is a guy, Wilander, who is not match tough. That was a careless error. He overhit by about 3 inches. And he knows it. Crowd starting to get into the match.
Here comes Jimmy.
Tries to drop volley and misses. Well, that's a tough shot on a deuce point at 5-4 in the final set. Connors will take a lot of time here. And it's good. Attacking quickly on the short return. That ball bounced high, but Connors steered it down the line. Now watch how high this ball bounces. There he jumps at it over his shoulder, and look at the depth and placement.
Metz gave the shot a good stare, but not a good effort. He just stood in his tracks. Back to deuce.
Wilander made a good chip return, and then he had the chance to go either way with the forehand and did. Perfect shot down the line. Now watch here, because he keeps the ball low. And look at that forehand. He plays it behind him with the looper. A lot of clearance on that. Third advantage to Wilander, who's bouncing around like a fresh kid that he is, 20 years old. Boy, that is awfully good depth. Connors trying to close out this match. Trying to dig deep and figure out a way. A first serve would help. The crowd both cheering for both ways. Mark Cox in the chair calls for quiet.
Wagner.
see if Mats Wilander is able to put together the 2 points that Deuce requires for victory. Good, or was it not?
I think the ball was wide. I haven't heard a call, but I believe it was wide. Connors went with the sky hook over his shoulder, but I think he hooked it about 4 inches wide, and he has. Wilander has broken back. And we're at 5 games all. Final set. And boy, oh boy, now you can really see why Wilander is so well respected. I thought he was out of the match at 4-love in the 3rd set here. And now he's alive and even. 5-all. Awfully good backhand roll. I just don't understand. I don't understand this.
Keep your eyes on what you're supposed to do. Keep your eyes on what you're supposed
Hits a perfect shot, and right here Connors has missed the volley, and a minute later he turns and walks back, and they have now warned him.
Barry, what did Jimmy make, some kind of a gesture?
I think he's awarded Wilander the 2nd point.
He has. It's been a point penalty against Jimmy Connors.
So that means first there was a warning and then a point penalty. The next warning is a game. The next point's a game.
Mark Cox, a very popular man at the moment.
30-love. Barry McKay, can you tell us about that?
Well, I can tell you a few things that you don't want to hear, but basically Connors very upset with Mark Cox, and Cox awarded him a penalty point there because of a few gesticulations by Connors, and then he really exploded, really got mad. Says it twice now he's cost him the match.
Very unhappy, tense moment for Jimmy Connors and the match overall. Wilander in the mess, won the game. We'll be back. Our coverage of the ATP will continue in just a moment, but first these messages from your local cable systems.
Turn to Radio 1990 for up-to-the-minute music news, videos, and current events. Radio 1990. We don't miss a beat. At 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, weekdays. Journey to the mysterious world of the Far East. The wondrous and wicked world of the Kung Fu Masters, where honor is not taken lightly. Enter the Dragon's Den for a deadly display of fisty fireworks each week on Kung Fu Theater. Confucius say, person who watch Kung Fu Theater on USA Network is one smart cookie. At 1 and 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
The USA Network invites you to enter a realm slightly beyond reality, with tales of the unexpected, star-studded adventures into the mind's darkest corners, seasoned with a dash of the sinister. An unforgettable journey awaits you when you discover tales of the unexpected, strange twists of fate on the USA Network.
Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.
We return you to a little bit of pandemonium at Kings Island. The ATP Championship semifinal between Jimmy Connors and Mats Wilander has just been made a little crazy by Mark Cox, the chair umpire, awarding a point in the last game to Mats Wilander as a result of a gesture that Jimmy Connors made when he missed on a great shot by Wilander. Now, that shot is in, and Connors leads 15-love, but down 5-6. This is a set in which he led at one point 4-0.
I can't imagine Connors recomposing himself at this stage. He is flipped out at the chair umpire, who suddenly is taking control of the match, rather, I think, one-sidedly. Just don't understand why these chair umpires get so involved.
Connors still remembering the missed overrule by Mark Cox back in the first set.
Great shot. Wilander, beautiful forehand, Al.
Now, when I say missed overrule, that, of course, in the eyes of Jimmy Connors, it was difficult to tell from up here.
But that's the whole point of the rule. You're supposed to only overrule when it's a clear error. That's what Connors is so mad about. Not the call, but whether it was the right application. And now Wilander slicing him up at the net. Connors trying to hit the overhead lob, was short.
Mats 2 points from the final.
Stays alive. At 30-all, 5-6, final set. Watch the overhead. He leans into it, doesn't put it away. Wilander saves it. Jimmy bounces the ball, and now he plays into that open court. Sharply angled.
30-all.
Good.
Connors takes the biggest point of the match.
And he is hanging in there by his toenail. Here he comes. Wilander goes behind him. Connors with the low volley. A lot of slice. The ball lands good. Wilander tries the roll, but the ball was not bouncing high enough, and he missed it.
The tiebreaker looms if Connors can win this point.
Unusual position. The server can get into the haven of the tiebreaker. No fun when you're down 5-6. Fault. Second serve. And Connors a giant under pressure, and you see why he has won the Grand Slam 8 times, because he was out of this tournament, but he's turned it around to the tiebreaker, 6-all, and now he realizes it's all a matter of concentration. hope they can play the tiebreaker out without any problems on the lines. Because this is a heck of a match.
Well, we've written off Jimmy Connors in the first set. He came back. We've written off Mads Wilander in the third, and he has come back.
Shows how much we know. And now either can certainly win. First point of the tiebreaker, final set. Here comes Connors on the line. And that is a great overhead. Ooh. Wilander came up with a good deep lob. Connors didn't even let it bounce. What do you think, Barry McKay? Is Wilander tired at all?
He is tired, Donald. You can't tell from up there, I'm sure, but he is definitely starting to feel it down here. He's slowed down a little in between points, and he's taken a lot more time.
15 love. I said 15 love. I meant 1 love. It is now 1-all because we're in the 13-point tiebreaker.
And Wilander has broken back with his own mini break.
Remember, the first to 7 points must win by a margin of 2 and has the title. And this is a major on the circuit, the ATP Championships. Players Association title comparable to the PGA tournament in golf. It's good.
Pounced all over that one.
Boy, what an angle shot. Connors really is able to move the ball around by the body, his body angle. Watch his shoulder rotation here now. Steps into the ball. Now he keeps it deep. Now watch when he goes for a shot. Right here. Look at that rotation of the shoulders. Real sharp twist, and he gets the angle. That's where his power is, right there in his shoulders on that two-handed side. 1, 2. Now, wait a minute. Everybody's got it wrong. The ball was called a fault, and then the chair umpire said 3-1.
It was an ace.
Well, then it's 2-all.
It is 2-all. Mark Cox in the chair making a mistake, and I'm surprised that Jimmy's not all over him for it. Yeah, here he comes. Meanwhile, it was the 8th ace of the match for Mats.
But I believe it is 2-all.
Yeah, they've changed the scoreboard now. It is 2-2.
Steers it just wide, about 3 inches. You know, Connors, if he got into a controversy here, has been warned, has lost 1 point. And I don't know what happens, Barry. If he gets warned again, does he lose the tiebreaker?
It's another point, though.
Yeah, but, well, it's supposed to be point in game and match. He's now at warning point.
And there are no games to be played.
We got to get that from our statistician, Dewey Blend. He's out if he loses this controversy. If there is another warning, he's out. Because he loses the game, which is the tiebreaker. And Wilander nails it, but it's long. Now, Connors is really going after the chair umpire. I don't see how he concentrates when he does that.
Playing you as a pitcher, I'm telling you.
Well, they're switching ends now after 6 points.
He's flirting with death here.
I was going to say, Barry, if I heard what I think he said. Now let's watch this tiebreaker. Let's watch this point in the tiebreaker. Connors comes in. Tremendous depth. Look at the forehand of Wilander. He's got the ball by him. It's on the sideline good, but over the baseline.
3-all is the tiebreaker.
Well, I hope Mark Cox knows that if he calls another penalty, we can all move out of here real quick.
Well, the tiebreaker, I believe, Barry, is considered as a game.
Exactly.
So if the next point there was a controversy and Jimmy lost it in a dispute, it would be match to Wilander. It's a lot of pressure. Let's hope Mark Cox doesn't choke. Oh, what a point to hit a big shot. Nerves of steel. Now watch what Wilander does with the shot. He just cruises over there, goes right down the line. Perfect topspin, steers it just inside, and he leads 4-3. Took plenty of time. That occasion wasn't rushed.
Perfect time to thank Dewey Blanton of the Volvo Grand Prix. It's always a comfortable feeling to have him seated in the booth with us. Right here, Matt Wilander will be serving 2 at 4-3.
And now Wilander goes to the towel. He wants to take a little time. And he's got the edge and the mini break at 5-3. Remember, to win, you must get to 7 by a margin of 2 points. Awfully good volley by Connors on a big point to get back even. 5-4. But now Connors to serve at the far end.
Now, Matt Wilander has so much respect from players and fans, commentators and writers, and so does Jimmy Connors, and this is just another perfect example of why. Both of them at one point this afternoon have been down and out, and they've just come back both times. Connors serving at 4-5 in the first meeting between the two that makes us long for more.
Connors came in, then went back on the half volley. That ball split the line. No call, therefore it was good. Match point. 4-6.
The atmosphere here quite turbulent at the moment. Match point, tiebreaker in the third. First serve for Jimmy Connors. That's it. Hard to believe, but true. Matt Wilander coming back from a love 4 deficit in the third and taking out Jimmy Connors at the ATP semifinals for the 4th time in his career. Connors most certainly will walk off in a huff. And Wilander will be in a position to defend his ATP championship.
Wilander made a heck of a play on that last point. We'll see that in a moment. Let's watch the match point here again because he makes an awfully good play. Here comes Connors with the drop shot. Wilander fields it nicely, comes in and chips it down the line. Now Jimmy goes with the lob to the backhand side. Look at Matz. He nails that overhead off the backhand side, and he has won the match. And we're going down to courtside to the winner, Mats Wilander and Barry McKay.
Mats Wilander, congratulations. A great comeback. Were you getting tired in that third set?
I was very tired in the third set. I mean, he had 4 love, and I had to do something, and I started to, I think, slow down. I didn't move as good, but I started to come in on my serve. And, I mean, I think it surprised him a little bit. And Jimmy lost his concentration, that's for sure.
Mats, I know you've had a long layoff and been working hard to get back in shape. How do you feel overall physically? Do you feel you can go 5 sets, let's say, at the upcoming U.S. Open?
I don't know if I can go 5 sets like this. I mean, I think I'm going to get very tired, but it's just that you haven't played too many matches, and then you get tired. I mean, I can run for a long while, but to play in a high speed like Jimmy does, it's very difficult for me still.
Mats, how do you keep your concentration during controversies? There were a lot of problems out there today. Connors against the umpire, bad calls here and there. What do you do during that period of time?
Well, I don't do anything. I mean, I think the umpire should do the job, and it's impossible to me to say if he made a right decision to give Jimmy penalty points. I didn't see what he did, and it disturbs the match a little bit when the umpire is giving penalty points. But I mean, it's tough for me to say if it's right or wrong. I don't know.
All right, Mats, thanks for sticking around. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, back up to you, Al.
The Swedish diplomat, Mats Wilander, outlasting Jimmy Connors. They went to the tiebreaker twice, and Wilander won them both. That was the story of this exciting 3-set match, marked by controversy and marked by great comebacks from both players. We'll wrap it up in a moment.